Hello everyone, it's Maddy from Create Your Future. So I just wanted to come on today and talk to you a little bit about not seeing movement in your 3D reality. This is something that has actually been a common occurrence amongst some of my clients, and a lot of questions come following this, like what do I do if I'm not seeing movement? What are some techniques I can follow? How do I deal with it? I'm spiraling. How do I get out of that mindset? Things like that. So I'll just start off by saying that sometimes our mind likes to be a little bit logical. It doesn't always take right away to an affirmation, which is totally fine. So we'll make both work at the same time because we still want to keep on our mental diet. We still want to have that hype man in the background cheering us on and telling us that we're doing a great job and that everything is working out in our favor. So we still want to flip those thoughts, but sometimes our mind will be a little bit more logical. So I'll kind of give an example, right? So let's just say my person hasn't texted me in a long time. I'm not seeing movement. They haven't really come into my life yet. I haven't seen them come back into my life because maybe we've broken up. Maybe they found somebody else, whatever the case may be for the situation at hand. And so my mind will automatically go to, well, he's just not interested in me. He doesn't want to talk to me, right? So that's usually a first thought, which makes sense because our mind, because we're saying, well, he does want to talk to me and he does want to see me. Our mind's going to look out here and be like, where is it? Why? Like, you're telling me this, but I'm not seeing anything. So you're putting a lot of blind faith into yourself, which is exactly what you want to do because you're trusting yourself in this process that you can create anything. That is the point. But at the same time, how we can use some logic in it is we can say, okay, logically, sometimes people take time to process that I'm the one for them. Sometimes it needs to happen. So I'm going to make that work in my favor. That's not always the case. Time is an illusion. But I'm going to let my logical mind kind of go with that story for now because I haven't heard from him in a while. And I'm not going to say like, no, that's not a thing. They're texting me right now. They've been texting me for the last month. My mind might not take to that. It might be like, I don't know about that because I haven't seen anything. So I'll just kind of make my way and work into it and be like, you know what? I haven't heard from him. That's okay that my mind is focusing on that. That's a normal, natural human reaction. I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm actually going to be very kind to myself. And I'll put this logical thing behind it that sometimes people will take a little bit of time and they will come back and realize, like, I really need this person in my life. And you could even say, he's taking his time now. Even if it was for like a day, he's taking his time that he needed to take. So the logical side is out the door. Like, we've already put that down. Our mind has grasped onto that and been like, yeah, psychologically, that happens a lot. And then manifestation side. So therefore, he's actually going to be texting me because every time I think of him, he thinks of me and he thinks about how much he adores me. That's the only reason I think about him as much as I do. And he's actually going to say all these things to me. So not only is your mind grasping onto the little bit of logic you gave it, because our mind sometimes just likes to gravitate that way. And we're going to also include our manifesting. So that's something, a little bit of a technique that I use, especially if my mind is really fighting itself, especially if I feel like, well, I keep looking outward, I'm not seeing anything, I don't want to spiral, but I feel like I'm spiraling. I'll kind of put that a little bit into perspective for myself and be like, sometimes people need some space or whatever, but he doesn't need that anymore because he actually really misses me with the space that he's already taken. Hence, now new story. Another technique I like to do, I think I've mentioned this a few times on the channel, is the I remember when statement. If that one doesn't really resonate with you. And so let's just say, again, same situation. My person is not texting me. They're not reaching out. I'm not seeing the movement that I want. So then I'll say, I remember when I was really worried about my person not texting me and I didn't feel like they wanted to talk to me. So you're not escaping the situation that you're already thinking about. It's okay. But now we're going to replace it with a new thought of, but now they're actually texting me all the time. They can't get enough of me. They are addicted to me. They know I'm irreplaceable in their life and they could not stand the time we actually took apart before. That's always at the forefront of their mind and they can't handle it. So that could be a way where your mind thinks logically as well. It's both techniques work. I've tried all of it. It actually works like a charm because you're still using what's in your 3D and you're also making it work for you as part of, that was a part of the past. Now this is actually what's going on now. So I don't ever want you guys to feel like you have to ignore your 3D. Sometimes it just doesn't work, especially when you fight your 3D. Everything is just a projection. It's going to keep reenacting the same things over and over again until we figure out our beliefs or our blocks. And so sometimes, this is a very common block that I would like to just briefly touch on, and why sometimes people don't see movement in their 3D, is sometimes we have a belief, this is actually very common, that we have to not care in order for them to come back. So the saying is like, once you've moved on, they come right back, or once you stop focusing on them, or once you let go, or whatever it is, right? That can be really exhausting because, like, yes, it can work in your favor once you stop caring and you do see them come into the picture. But then that means that in order to keep up the relationship, you would basically just have to not care about that person at all. And then you would see all the movement. Then they come back. And so what we can do with that belief is like, I remember when I used to believe that. I used to believe I couldn't care about them, or I had to move on, or whatever it was. But now people value me when I am interested in them. They respect me. They actually are interested in me way more than I'm interested in them. So things like that. Another reason why you could not be seeing movement in your 3D could be that we are focusing so much on maybe the old story, but then we'll think like, well, I've been like, still trying to flip the thought and yada yada. But if we're still hyper focusing on the old story of, well, he broke up with me and like went off with this other person, or, this happened, or whatever the story is, right? If we keep reverting back to that story and we don't take care of it the way we need to, which I'll talk about in a second, then that's just going to keep happening in a cycle in our mind, and then we're not going to see anything in the 3D. So let's just say our person left us, right? So it's okay that I'm thinking about this. We're going to go through a little bit of this like journey in our mind and just be like, I am focusing on that right now. I really am. I'm focusing on it. I have been focusing on it. My mind just keeps reverting back to it. I'm no longer going to try to fight it anymore. So what I'm going to do for a little bit is I'm just going to be that. You'll notice, especially in your body, sometimes this does happen where it manifests resistance, manifests in your body. So sometimes it can be your chest feels tight, your throat kind of feels funny, like it feels a little bit tighter, like it's hard to talk a little bit. Your shoulders get really tight, back might get tight, things like that. Those are some things that I've witnessed. I get a headache sometimes because my mind's trying to fight itself so much. And so what I'll do then is I'm like, I'm not going to fight this. I'm actually just going to be so that I can actually release the resistance. So I'm just going to be for a second. Yeah, I do think that. Here's some of the thoughts. I'm going to observe my thoughts. Here's the negative thoughts that come into my mind. Maybe I'll write them down just to get really clear with what's going on. And I'll see the theme. And sometimes it's like, well, I'm not chosen. Who would want to choose me? Like they've obviously left me for another person, or they left me because they didn't think I was good enough, or whatever the reason is. So why would they come back? So that could be something that we're not seeing movement from as well. Why would they come back, right? So something we can affirm is they would be so lucky to talk to me. They're lucky that I've ever been interested in them in the first place. Like, they're lucky that I even want to manifest them in the first place. So you're putting that self-concept back on you, and you're giving yourself the reason why they would be interested. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I deserve good things. I deserve to have an amazing relationship, and I deserve to be treated like a queen or a king or whatever you want to put there, right? So you're going to give yourself that reason, and you're going to hype yourself up, have your little hype man in your head, like, yeah, I deserve this. I deserve these really good things. I'm going to believe in myself today. Even if you have to take it day by day, and even if the first thing you think about is, well, they haven't texted me. Okay, they would be lucky if like I responded to their text. So you're going to bring it back to yourself, and you're going to be like, so because they know that they're lucky to have me in their life. They are going to text me. So sometimes we focus a little bit too much on what they're doing. We give them a little bit too much free will when we shouldn't be doing that. And we basically make it just about them when we also want to make it about ourselves. Because as much as we want our person and as great as they are and how amazing we want our relationship to be, we are the star. We are the center of everything. And so if that's the case, then we have to give ourselves a little bit of TLC as well. That can come out in different forms. Sometimes showing yourself that you're a priority is, I'm going to do a face mask today, or I'm going to work out today with this friend, or I'm actually going to take a workout class today. I'm going to do something a little bit different. You kind of see the theme. Like, everything is just something that you want to do for yourself that day. It could be simple. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, I'm actually just going to buy this little cupcake today because I want it. And then that will show myself personally that I'm putting myself as a priority. I'm doing things for myself. I'm going to put myself first. And I'm also going to affirm those things as well, that not only am I a priority, but I'm amazing. People tell me all the time. I'm absolutely beautiful, and people tell me all the time. I believe in myself. I've come so far in my manifesting journey. Or even if you just came upon manifesting, I actually found this. It came to me. Not everybody knows about manifesting. So the fact that I'm listening to these videos and the fact that I'm actually trying to put this to the test and I'm doing all this and I'm actually putting the techniques into play, I'm so much farther than I was even yesterday. I'm going to give myself some credit today. So it is about you. It is about believing in yourself. If you're not seeing movement in your 3D, give it back to yourself a little bit. Why would my person want to text me? Why would they want to be in a relationship with me? I don't know, why would they? Because you're amazing, because you're worthy of great relationships, because you're worthy of having somebody that's emotionally available for you. That's something that's really common as well. Something that I'm really going to have a food for thought today is, if your person is showing you that you can't rely on them, that they're not really invested, things like that, you're just kind of seeing a dip, I would honestly recommend affirming that they are emotionally available for you and that they treat you as such. There's somebody that you can rely on. They always show up for you. They're consistent and you can trust them. They're worthy of trust, because that's actually a really big one too that I see in a lot of relationships, is that people are scared to get close to their SP because that can mean vulnerability. That can be scary. That's not safe or secure. So definitely focus on what your mind and your body are telling you. It will tell you, and it will let you know, hey, by the way, here's some things that we need to work on. You're going to get your movement. And also take things that happen in your 3D as movement. Even if you're not getting a text from your person, let's say a video like this pops up and it says, get a text message from your SP. Take that as movement. That is your bridge of incidence. You're seeing something in your 3D telling you hey, by the way, I know you're focusing on this and you want this. Here's a little sign. Take the signs of bridge of incidence as well. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing all these things. Or sometimes when I go on TikTok, I'll see videos that I wasn't even searching for, but I'll see the videos that go along with what I'm manifesting. And I'm that's just another sign. Everyone is me pushed out. But it's cool to see those little signs sometimes of yep, somebody actually right next to me at the store was my SP's name. Crazy. Or someone mentions them to you, or somebody brings up relationships around you and things like that. So take those as okay, because I'm seeing that around me, I know I'm on the right track. I'm going to keep that in mind. That's actually a really great sign. And just kind of run with it, because not every time are we always going to see that movement right away. So we're just going to have to tell ourselves I can manifest anything. I'm going to affirm that this happens right away and that I see my bridge of incidence. But at the same time, if it doesn't happen today, say at the end of the day, I'm well, I still haven't got my text message like I thought I would. Okay, then what have I seen today that has reminded me that I'm going to get what I want? Let's really dive into that for a second. It could be anything. It could be you just reflecting on the things that you've already gotten in the past. So just keep that in mind. You all got this. Manifesting will always work in your favor. You will always get what you want. And I intend that everybody that watches this video found this helpful and you found it a little bit, I don't know, just a little bit more helpful than maybe before, and you can get on a good manifesting track, and that it encouraged you a little bit more than the mindset you were in before. And I intend that your mindset is exactly what you want, and that your belief system is exactly what you're desiring, and you get everything easily and effortlessly. So if you would like to book a coaching session with me, the link will be down below. I would love to hear from you and help you. And I would love to see your guys' success stories, the things that you've been manifesting, in the comment section down below as well. Have a wonderful day.